on our program is Tarea Sturrup, and she is, I am calling your name right. What is it?
Tarea.
Tarea, okay. Tarea. I saw the twinkle in your eye when I said the other name. Tarea Sturrup, the new Miss Bahamas Universe, and as I said, she is quite affable and very talented. You sing?
I do sing. I'm a Sturrup, of course I sing.
Sturrup? Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been singing?
Since ever, really. My family is very musically inclined. I believe every Sturrup that I know plays an instrument or sings. And when I was growing up, I sang and I did piano. And I was, really musical. I've been in choirs all my life and sang solos and did all that.
Okay, we're going to pull the piano in here in a short while. You're going to do something for us?
The one song I remember, of course.
Okay. What is that?
It's for Eloise or Eloise.
Okay.
Depends on where you're from.
Okay, very good. And so you are into singing and music, and you model, and what else do you do?
Oh, I also paint and draw.
You do?
Yes.
Wow.
I know you would love that.
Absolutely. If I had known, I would have asked you to bring along something that you would have done.
Well, my art, I like to keep it a little bit funky, a little bit abstract. So
Abstract stuff?
Yeah, so I take the human form and
like
I like
this thing behind you.
deconstruct it, yes.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
All right. So when we bring her back, we're going to showcase some of her art pieces.
Okay, some art.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very, very nice. So, are you self-taught in art?
Oh, in a way. When I was younger, I did a few art classes, but when I went to college, I minored in art. So I was able to practice art for the full 4 years and really get refined in my techniques and things.
Okay, where did you go to school?
I went to Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama.
I shouldn't even ask. You're Seventh Adventist.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am. I
Okay.
was born and raised Adventist.
Okay, and you minored in art then? What is your major?
My major at that time was political science.
I see.
Yeah.
Why political science?
I wanted to be a lawyer and, well, more so an attorney. But I also wanted to be a politician. I love politics. I always, watched the news with my dad, and we would debate all the time.
Okay.
And yeah, I love American politics.
Well, what about local politics?
Local politics is a little bit more fun. It's a little bit more fun. American politics is very, they have a box that they fit in, but local politics, it's anyone's game.
Okay,
Yeah.
so later down, you would probably think about politics as well, eh?
Yeah.
Very
I'll put my hat in the ring.
You'll throw your hat in the ring?
Yeah.
That will be very nice. It's good to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you which party you want to support at all.
Lord.
We're not going to go there.
No.
But there are a whole lot of young people who are politically astute, and we need them to get more involved in politics and in civic education in the country to get to know the Bahamas, yes?
Yes, actually the awards last night, we went to the National Youth Awards, like Bianca said, and there was an entire room full of aspiring politicians, and the way they spoke when they achieved their award and they came and did their acceptance speech, it was so inspiring. It gave me such hope for the future of the Bahamas. They are amazing.
Why do you think you have this interest in politics and young people today?
I don't know. I feel, everything kind of starts at home, and I grew up watching my dad watch the news and a lot of documentaries and things about history and wars, and what I did was I always asked the question why. And so politics taught me a lot about running a country, or the things that factor into voting, and why a person who is good wasn't elected over a person who was bad, things like that, because it's not just about face value, and that's what I like about politics. You get to go a little deeper.
And because you like politics so much, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Oh, Lord.
What you like about the Bahamas? What do you like about your country?
I like our mode of politics. I like
Okay.
that it's a little bit of a hybrid with the British system. I think that it brings a lot of structure to us, but I also feel in some cases we need a bit improvement on that. I think the Bahamas has a lot of potential as a country. I think we should look around the world at systems that work and thrive and really pick things that would fit to our lifestyle. But I love the political vigor of the Bahamas. We're so fiercely independent, and that's what really gets me excited, because no matter what, we're going to do what we want to do, and I think that's really cool.
You like our parliamentary system, the Westminster system of
I think
government?
that's the most entertaining. That's why I said it's almost anything goes, because I love that kind of he said over there, she said over there. I love that, and I love watching it on TV.
Okay, very, very good.
Yeah.
Now, having asked you what you like about the Bahamas, that is the politics of the Bahamas, let's talk about our country as a whole in terms of you are in Germany now, or Switzerland, and your interviewer is asking you, what do you like about your country, the Bahamas?
Ooh, if I was in Switzerland right now, the first thing I would say is I like the weather, because it would be cold in Switzerland, and I do not like to be cold. Okay, I love the weather, I love the views. We have absolutely breathtaking landscapes here. It's unreal, and I love the food, because I love to eat. And I think my favorite thing about the Bahamas is our culture and the things that make up our culture. For example, the way we speak to each other. I love the manners, I love the hospitality, I love the feeling of family. I've gone away to countries and met with Bahamians, and every time I would meet with them, I would not know them, but I would always feel like I'm home, and I love that. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. And I really could listen to Tarea all day. And how do people follow your journey if they want to keep following you on this?
Oh, well, social media, you can always follow me on everything. My handle on every platform is Tarea Bianca, Tarea Bianca. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it, it's there. Yeah.
And soon, the Miss Universe pageant will be coming up in Atlanta.
Yes.
When is that?
So Miss Universe is going to be on December 8th this year. I'm actually going to leave pretty soon to go and start filming. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait. It's going to be real fun.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, for our audience here in the Bahamas, I asked you what you like about the Bahamas. What do you dislike? What do you dislike about our social development? What are the things that you think we ought to improve on,
Well,
particularly as it relates
to me?
to young people?
Oh, well, for the young people of today, I think we should firstly know who we are. I think we should not adapt our culture to the world. I also think that we should dream bigger, dream larger, not just achieve to be a big fish in a small pond, but to really lift your country up in the world. You're able to still be Bahamian anywhere. And I think that the more we recognize our value, it'll really help us to make our impact. Because I feel the Bahamas is very stuck in our own region, and it can be off-putting from other countries from what I've heard. But if we expand and really show ourselves, we can really be accepted, and you just have to take that chance, you know?
You know, you're a role model for many young women now, and a good role model, I think. And there are some people who focus on the negative, and sometimes I want to focus on the positive and to talk about the young women who are doing things, who are upwardly mobile, who are great role models for the country. But then there's that minority of young women who are not upwardly mobile, who are letting the side down, really. And people like you ought to be saying some things to them to get them to move in the right direction. And let's pretend that you are in an area in the heartland community of our country. And these are some young women who you are speaking to. What do you say to them?
I would say that you are beautiful and you're loved and you're valuable. And when you focus on who you want to be and you see that woman at the end, it doesn't matter how you start life. It doesn't matter, you know, the tribulations that you would have went through, but it matters how you finish and how you complete the race.
You complete the race, absolutely. And there's a need for inspirational leadership for these people, wouldn't you say?
Yes, yes, that always matters. You know, everyone needs a little beacon of hope in their life, especially at this time where things are kind of bleak and real sad in a way. I feel that we should focus on hope and resilience and strength.
Yes, there's a lot of hopelessness among some young people. I think the majority of our young people want to do better, and they are making strides. But
Yes.
there's some hopelessness in some quarters among young people, young men who are at risk. We have a whole lot of young men who are at risk, and who would probably feel a little threatened by young women who are not and who are doing well. Yes? They too need some inspiration, yes?
Well, I feel that when you have someone who is in a position like mine, we're in a place where you can reach out and figure out like what your background is, what do you believe in. And for me, I can relate to people who may not have, you know, the best, who may be, I don't want to say disenfranchised, I want to say more so less fortunate. Just this year, I was completely unemployed, but I applied myself to something that I believed in, and I worked really hard. And now, you know, at the end of the day, I made it. So it's like, if you're going to either focus on the negative, I think you should, you know, flip it. Take that negative and use it as energy to push what you believe in, push who you want to be.
Yes, and you can relate best having experienced something yourself firsthand. So
Yeah.
I see that in you as you're a humanitarian, and then how you said earlier that, you know, it took a little bit to get to where you're at, and you needed to look in the mirror and tell yourself those messages. And now we see how it has worked for you. And, you know, you always are carrying yourself with such class and poise. And I know that it must be difficult at this time because, you know, Mr. Jones, she is everywhere. She is so busy, early in the morning till really late at night. And I see her, and she's looking like flawless and fabulous, and she's always this sharp. She's always this sharp, even though I know she hasn't had sleep or maybe didn't eat or whatever it may be, but you don't carry yourself like that at all. And you know, you look tremendous. I was complimenting you on your outfits that you've been wearing.
Oh, thank you. You know, this is Bahamian made. Everything that I
really?
wear now is, yeah, everything that I wear now is made by a Bahamian designer. Her name is Alicia Seymour, and she custom makes basically everything that I wear. If you see me at a show, at an event, if you ask me what I'm wearing, 9 times out of 10.
Alicia Seymour is fantastic. those outfits are incredible, and this is all Bahamian. Every outfit she's wearing is designed by Alicia
Very
Yes,
Sims.
good,
I'm
very
keeping
good.
it down home. Everything that I do is geared toward promoting Bahamians, really lifting up our culture, showing the world what we can do.
Very good. Your platform dealing with the elderly in particular, people who are going through dementia, that is becoming very common these days, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Like I said on the first show, we ran the numbers that the amount of persons that were to be diagnosed is going to increase in the upcoming years, meaning the next 20 years. And that's off of a doctor's research. But I feel the thing we should focus most on is learning how to cope with the disease, because once you get dementia, it's not curable. So you have to learn how to respond to patients and how to curate a system of experienced and expert caregivers.
But there's a way to delay it if you are exercising and if your diet is right.
Yes.
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 And if you have some mental stimulation.
Mental stimulation and also a mode of de-stressing. It's the stress that really puts pressure on the brain, and things like painting, dancing, laughing, spending time with your family, and unplugging from the world for a little bit. Every day, once a week, take a full day off. Things like that matter, and your body will thank you later on.
And it's very difficult dealing with people who are afflicted with the disease, yes? That too can be a traumatic experience.
Yes. Personally, I deal with my grandmother several days a week. I feel, some days she would have a good day, other days it wouldn't be so nice. And on the difficult days, the main feeling I get is frustration, but I have to layer it with patience because I can't be upset over something that I can't change. So when it comes to those days, I try to think of more creative ways to get around the issue, because I'm not the only one frustrated. I'm sure from her eyes, she's frustrated as well. So you have to step out of yourself sometimes in dealing with patients.
So a high level of tolerance is extremely necessary.
Yes.
And understanding that this is something that this person is going through, and there's very little they can do about it, eh?
Yes, yes. So you have to, use a little tenderness and make it a lot softer.
Yes.
And last time we spoke, there was a plan that you were coming up with. It was similar to the Amber Alert system.
Yes.
For can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So the plan is to really track a senior citizen who may have been diagnosed with dementia. Say if you yourself were and you went missing, then your daughter would have the option of submitting your photo and a description and the last time you would have been seen, and send a little notice out in that area, and in that way people can respond, call the emergency number and say, yes, I've seen Bianca. This is the last time I saw her at this time, and that will be a good tool to use to locate those persons.
Okay, let's take our final break here on our program, speaking with Miss Bahamas here today. We'll come right back.